All right. Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. Guess what, people? I now believe. I believe in the Tennessee Titans. I believe in this football team. I really do believe after this Sunday that we're headed to the playoffs. And now we're in trouble, okay? Because now that I'm on board, now we're in trouble. Because if you follow my MJ takes on the Tennessee Titans this season, I've been horrible when it comes to this football team. Now, game to game, I can get the predictions right. But in terms of how our season would go, I thought we were going to start stronger than what we did. I thought Mariota was going to prove to be the franchise quarterback. When Ryan Tannehill came in, I said, yeah, he's going to win a couple games, but we're not going to go on this playoff push. And here we are going on this playoff push. So now that I'm on board, I'm sure we're in trouble. But you know what? Something special is going on here, okay? And you're not going to hear, well, of course you hear some negativity from me because it's me. But you're going to hear almost no negativity from me tonight because this is exactly what I wanted to see. This is what I want to see. Domination. That's what I want to see. That's what I ask. And I know you don't have to provide it every week. I know it's impossible to provide it every week. But this is what I want to see. Ryan Tannehill. I'm about to buy his damn jersey. I mean, this guy is killing it. Hold on real quick. Let me fix this lighting. Because this light fell down as I was doing my Randy Orton entrance. Ryan Tannehill is playing the best stretch of quarterback play we've ever seen in Tennessee. It's actually not that close. I mean, the guy is insane, and that game on Sunday might be the greatest Tennessee Titans quarterback performance we've ever seen. It's up there. I mean, the throws that he was making on Sunday. That 91-yard touchdown to A.J. Brown. Oh, baby, can you feel it? It is electric. You can feel it. It's electric. You can feel it. It's electric. I don't even know the lyrics outside of that one lyric. But whatever the lyrics are, you know, you can feel it. A.J. Brown, my boy. My dog. I mean, I told y'all, I did tell y'all this. Wide receiver number 1 in the 2019 NFL draft. And when we got him, I was so excited for good reason. The guy's a freaking beast. He's a future star. He should be a star next season. He's not a star now. He's not a star now. Okay, let's be, for Tennessee, for us, oh, he's a star. He's already a star. In the NFL, they'll catch up next year. They're seeing the plays on Red Zone. They'll catch up, and then he'll be a star by next year. But we have, finally, a star wide receiver in the making in Tennessee. It's like Kenny Britt actually got reincarnated and gives a shit. Excuse my language, but that's what it's like. With A.J. Brown producing the way that he is. So we have this Tannehill to A.J. Brown connection, which finally Arthur Smith got rolling and got going. Because as one of my complaints was last week, although we won the game and we ran the ball very well, I still didn't think our passing game was very strong. Oh, it was strong on Sunday. Ryan Tannehill, 391 passing yards. We haven't seen that in Tennessee. I mean, I don't think that's a franchise record. I'm pretty sure if it was, I would have heard that. But I can't tell you the last time we had a quarterback throw for 390 yards. Can someone in the chat tell me? Because I can't tell you. McNair, maybe, sure, he did it, I guess. But even then, that was a different era. I mean, McNair barely even cracked, like, passing yards in a season. Matt Hasselbeck has a record for passing yards in a season with 3,500. McNair doesn't even have that record. McNair capped out at like 3,200 passing yards in a season, so I'm pretty sure he did not have a 391-yard plus game, but someone has to, because I'm pretty sure that's not a franchise record. If it was a franchise record, I'm pretty sure I would have heard about it, but someone tell me in the chat what the franchise record is in terms of passing yards in a game for the Tennessee Titans. But yeah, incredible. I mean, that dime to A.J. Brown, incredible. The other touchdown he threw to A.J. Brown, also very good. And Corey Davis, I'm sorry, it's over. A.J. Brown's better than you. It's over. Because A.J. Brown makes plays, okay? Period. Okay, and he makes the most of every single ball that comes his way. That's his move, okay? Whereas Corey Davis, you don't make the most of every opportunity. And I still like Corey Davis. Don't get me wrong. And I want him to be a fixture of this team moving forward. A.J. Brown's better. Okay, A.J. Brown's better than Corey Davis. The discussion is over. A.J. Brown in his rookie year right now, I'm pretty sure has more receiving yards this season through 13 games than Corey Davis has had in 8 seasons. He has 779, and Corey Davis last year, I want to say had 700, but less than that. It should be less. Let me check Corey Davis' stats real quick. But Corey Davis, I don't think he even has, I think right now, A.J. Brown's 770 yards is more than Corey Davis has had in one season. Definitely probably more than he's going to have this season. And I still like Corey Davis, but my boy A.J. Brown's a beast. And I told y'all since when we drafted him, this is the guy that can put this offense over the top. And I just checked Corey Davis' stats last year. He had 891 receiving yards. So A.J. Brown's going to beat that. Okay, he's going to beat that in his rookie year. And I hope he gets that 1,000 yards. I'd love to have another 1,000-yard wide receiver in Tennessee. Last one that did that is Kendall Wright, and I know that. Ridiculous, but true. Kendall Wright in 2013. So hopefully we can get A.J. Brown to 1,000 yards rookie season. That's fantastic. I mean, it is, especially how this offense, how we were inconsistent early. And, lately we've been consistent, though. And even then, A.J. Brown doesn't get that many targets. I mean, dude, he only caught 5 balls, but he got 150 damn yards off those 5 balls. The guy knows how to make the most of every single play. And if he continues this stretch, he should break 1,000. And I expect him to break 1,000. It's not the biggest deal, but that's what I expect. So, A.J. Brown's a beast. Ryan Tannehill's a beast, and I believe. And more so because of the game, which we're going to get more into in a second, but also because the Houston Texans lost yesterday to the Denver Broncos. And this is something I did not foresee at all. Okay, that is something that I didn't foresee. And even the strongest Tennessee Titans fans and even the strongest of Houston Texans haters, come on. We did not anticipate or expect for the Houston Texans to lose to the Denver Broncos in Houston. This is ridiculous. Incredible. I mean, Denver Broncos beating Houston and Houston. This opens the door that I did not think was going to be open. I knew if we won out, then yeah, we'd win the division. But I did not think Houston was going to, first of all, lose to us twice. And even that's still, shaky for me. But with them looking how bad they did yesterday, we got a shot here to win the division outright. We are in the discussion. We are at the table, and it is real, and I believe it's going to happen. And I'm scared. Out of my mind. I am scared. I should have pulled out the clip. I should have pulled it out. But it's funny. If you go back and you watch my Kansas City Chiefs video, in fact, I might put it up on my phone real quick. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tennessee Titans in 2016. Okay, that game happened, I want to say, week 15. Okay, week 15 that game happened. And I said on this very channel, I said, all right, it's over to me. I have the Titans going to the playoffs. This was such a great win in Kansas City. That was the Ryan Suckoff game-winning field goal, 19-17, I want to say was the score. And I was like, all right, it's over to me. The Titans are going to go to the playoffs. It is over to me. That is what I said on this very channel. In the next week, they had the disaster in Jacksonville. I think the most painful game I watched as a Tennessee Titans fan next to the Baltimore Ravens playoff loss. Marcus Mariota breaks his leg. We get blown out. Season over. And that's what happened the last time I did this thing. Although 2017 I did say we were going to go to the playoffs. Then I did say we were going to beat the Jaguars, and we did. But the last time I wasn't convinced, because I was convinced throughout 2017 I was convinced. I knew we were going to make the playoffs, especially starting as strong as we did. But the last time I was hesitant to join on the bandwagon, and I joined on the bandwagon, everything went to hell the next week. So I'm scared out of my mind. I am scared out of my mind. But that's just what I think. So real quick, this was me back in 2016 talking about the Chiefs and Titans game. This is the best quality I can do right now. I should have downloaded it and then showed the clip. But this is what I said at that time, okay? Okay? This was literally 3 years ago. And then the next week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, let's see how depressed I was. Oh, let's see how depressed I was after that next game. Oh, geez. 2016. As Mariota breaks his leg. Yep, here we go. The next week. One more week. This is what happened. This was the old intro. Let me skip that.
It really is. I mean, over the last 8 years, this is what it consists of. Losing to trash-ass teams late in the season for no goddamn reason. That's what it is. I mean...
Okay, so we've seen this story before. So I hope it goes better than that. I really, really hope it does. But I do believe we're going to beat the Houston Texans this week in Nashville. And I do believe we'll win one of the last two. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to win out yet. I think we're just asking for a little too much there. Saying we're going to win, to win out, to beat Houston twice and beat New Orleans. I don't know. But the one thing, though, this is now a scenario that's on the table because, again, I did not expect Houston to lose. But what also is on the table is we could have this division wrapped up by week 17. The Houston Texans are going to travel to Tampa Bay in Week 16. Tampa Bay just took care of Indianapolis. Tampa Bay, although they've not been great at home this year, they're dangerous. They could beat Houston. So if we beat Houston this week and Houston loses to Tampa Bay and we beat New Orleans in Week 16, division wrapped up by Week 17, I'd love to see it. I think that's asking for too much too. I think the most likely scenario is that we beat the Texans this week, and I do have that, and then we would lose to the Saints, and then are we going to sweep the Texans? Man, that's asking a lot. But I just feel like, I don't know exactly how it's going to go down, but I just see 10 wins. I do see 10 wins right now, and I do see us winning the AFC South, but I guess we have to sweep the Texans, honestly. Either one. I just feel like we're either going to beat the Saints and the Texans, or not. We're going to beat the Saints, or we're going to beat the Texans in Week 17, and we're going to win 10 games and make the playoffs. But the wild card, the Steelers won in Arizona. I expected that. The biggest thing there, and honestly, the Patriots loss last night to the Kansas City Chiefs hurt us, because what's going to happen in Week 17 when Baltimore faces Pittsburgh? I think that game won't care for Baltimore. Baltimore is not going to try to win that game. Pittsburgh will. Pittsburgh may win that game and still win 10 games this year. So wild card's still going to be an issue. We're going to see how things develop. And we'll talk about this more on Tighten Up Thursdays, as we keep discussing the playoff scenarios. But this Denver Broncos loss, or this Houston Texans loss to the Denver Broncos, I just did not see this thing coming. And this changes everything. This really does change everything. And, we got the Texans this upcoming week, and we're going to talk about that again on Tighten Up Thursdays. So for this game, though, in the first time, I was a little worried. You know, we had the interception. Ryan Tannehill threw the interception on the screen pass because Arthur Smith, he just thinks that whenever he calls a screen pass, it's just the most creative and innovative thing that no one's going to see it coming. Dude, everyone sees it coming. And then we got picked up on that play. Now, that is the one blemish for Tannehill during this game. He should not have thrown that ball. Like, I know it's not his fault entirely. Like, the offensive line just let, you know, every single Oakland Raider defender pass him, and that's kind of the point of a screen pass, but not to that extent. You're not supposed to let the defensive line completely blow up the play like that. I mean, come on. So, I know that's a lot on the offensive line, but if Ryan Tannehill, you can't throw that ball. I mean, you just have to look over there and say, yeah, no way in hell I'm throwing that football, bring it down, and then take the sack and then live to see another day. Do not throw that football. So that's the one blemish for Tannehill during the game. But outside of that, he was fantastic. But yeah, we did, start off a little rocky. It was 21 all at half. I did feel confident that we were going to win the game, though. Just the way our offense was moving the ball consistently. I mean, outside of that interception, I'm pretty sure we scored on almost every possession in the first half. Maybe there was one other possession we did not. And also the Ryan Succop missed field goal, and that's a problem. And hopefully that won't screw us, but it probably will. Ryan Succop is done. Did you hear the commentary? They said that Ryan Succop did not attempt a 40-plus yarder in warm-ups. Oh, he's done. Because, dude, kickers hit 60-plus in warm-ups. I've even seen a kicker hit 70 in warm-ups. This guy can't even hit from 40-plus in warm-ups. No wonder why we have this Ryan Santoso guy, but he's more of like a specialist. I don't even know if he's actually good, if he's actually accurate. I don't think he's accurate from what I've heard. So that's a problem in and of itself. So if we're facing, New Orleans Saints who are going to give us a hell of a battle in that game, probably, I would bet it's going to come down to a field goal. Do you have any faith in Ryan Succop to make that field goal right now? I mean, his knee, it just looks off to me, his knee. I mean, it's just the way he's kicking the ball, it just comes out so ugly. His knee it's a problem right now. So Ryan Succop against the Saints, I'm telling you, and Texans too, probably. I mean, these are some close games you have to cut up. We can take care of the Oakland Raiders. But the Texans and the Saints, they're going to give us fights, they're going to give us battles. We're going to need to get every point. And it's just a little frustrating. And we actually were able to get 1 4th down conversion in this game, but I still don't trust our offense in terms of converting those consistently. So I'd love to say, well, we can just go for it anyway. It doesn't really matter. But I don't trust our team when it comes to going for it on 4th down. We've been so awful in the past number of years going for it on 4th down. But maybe with this Ryan Tannehill situation, maybe I should have more confidence. And he knows how to use his legs. I mean, that's one thing I like about Tannehill is using his legs. I'm a little worried that he's going to get hurt because he has had some injuries in the past. He's on the Mariota level of injury prone where he's not going to have major injuries, but he could have, a broken finger or a messed up rib or whatever. So I'd like to keep him healthy. He's staying healthy right now, but that is just something to look out for because, again, I look back to 2016 and I just have nightmares, so it just scares the hell out of me. But yeah, so Tannehill using his legs, getting first downs. We converted the 4th down. We ran it with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry still looks fantastic. You have to extend this guy. I mean, come on. I mean, I know running backs don't last long in this league, and I don't think you give him more than a 4-year deal. You cannot give him a 5-year deal. If you want to give him a 4-year deal, fine. I'm sure, honestly, by that 4th year, he probably won't be very good anymore. But I think he's like Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch was good that second contract. Marshawn Lynch was good that second contract, and I think he's that way. Play styles are kind of similar, kind of. I'm not saying it's a one-to-one like a lot of people would. No, Derrick Henry is not as physical as Marshawn Lynch. But he is a beast like Marshawn Lynch, and he can hit beast mode like Marshawn Lynch. And I think he's going to be as competent in his second contract as Marshawn Lynch was. I do not believe we have a Chris Johnson situation here where after that first contract, he will absolutely fall off. I do not believe that's what we have. And plus, looking back in those days, the offensive line was so bad anyway. I think that was a lot, in large part, why Chris Johnson did fall off as much as he did. But that's another story for another day. So, you got to extend Derrick Henry in the offseason. And this Tannehill extension talk, we'll talk about it on Thursday. Look, I'm on the Tannehill train, okay? If it's not obvious yet, it should be obvious now. You can't extend to him. I just don't. Because I do have faith in him. Don't get me wrong. But this could be disastrous. And it wouldn't be that, well, okay, maybe disastrous is too strong of a word. But it'd be problematic if we could have a situation where Tannehill turns back into Miami Ryan Tannehill, which is on the table. I'm not saying it's going to happen. What I will say, and I'm on the Tannehill train, he's not going to continue to lead the league in passer rating beyond this year. Come on. But, can he continue to be a top 10 quarterback? Yes, he could. But he also could end up being, back when he was in Miami, which was fine, which was a starting quarterback, and that's why I was so happy when we got him. I thought he was the best backup quarterback in the league when he was a backup quarterback. But you're talking, because apparently we're talking multi-year extension. That was the rumor. So what's he gonna ask for off of this statistical year? He's gonna ask for the most. Now, whether or not you give it to him as a conversation, maybe you can talk him down, but he's gonna ask for $35 million right now per year. That's what he's asking for right now. He's coming to the negotiating table, and he's saying $35 million a year, give it to me. That's what he's saying. Especially if that extension happens after Dak Prescott. You don't think Tannehill's going to ask for Dak Prescott money? So all of a sudden, we're paying a guy who we started for a year, and maybe that year we made the playoffs, and maybe we even won a playoff game. But just one year now, and not even a full year, you're going to pay him $35 million plus per year? Ooh, now the 49ers took that risk on Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's been fine for them. Now they also were able to draft, Nick Bosa and, a whole bunch of other guys and use first-round picks to get Dee Ford and accumulate all this talent, whereas we're farther along in our rebuild than the 49ers were. And now they passed us up for whatever reason, but that's the way it works. So I would just be very hesitant on that, okay? I say no, franchise. Just franchise him, cool, quick, simple, whatever. If he plays this well again next year, then extend him. But you do not want to end up like our boys down south in Jacksonville. Those Met heads in Jacksonville who paid Nick Foles $88 million for nothing. You don't want to end up like that because this is kind of Nick Foles-like right now. Now, Tannehill's better than Foles. Do not get me wrong. I've said that since day one, since both of them been in the league. I've said that. You can go back to my videos 2012, 2013, 2014 when Nick Foles was starting. I never bought into Nick Foles. Tannehill's better than Foles. But this is Nick Foles-like where he's caught ridiculous fire. Okay? Unless if he wins a Super Bowl, I'm not extending him. I'm franchising him. I just got to see it for another year. You just got to be safe. Okay? You just got to be safe. You cannot be quick to give a quarterback. You don't even know this guy. I mean, it's like getting married. I just had, it's funny I bring this up, right? There was this cute girl I liked back in college, right? This girl tells me, we had a little thing, right? She tells me, I'm not looking for anything right now. You know how girls are. I'm like, all right, that's cool, no problem. A year later, she's married. Why? Because, she found the cute guy for her, I get along with him better. Fine. Don't marry the guy. A year ago, you weren't looking for anything, right? A couple weeks ago, we were talking about drafting a quarterback, but now we have this pretty Ryan Tannehill. We're like, well, I'm down to get married now. I mean, come on, relax now. The franchise, right? Do the engagement. Wait a year. Okay, don't get married. Come on now. Let's slow down. Let's slow our roll. Right, so that's a nice analogy there. I'm turning more and more into Colin Cowherd by the day. That's fantastic. So, slow down on that. But we'll talk about that another day. So, you look at the other aspects in this game. Yeah, Corey Davis, only one catch, 24 yards. A little frustrating that, he's still not producing as much as we would like. But with A.J. Brown doing what he's doing, that's great. You saw Jonnu Smith have a nice touchdown catch. Okay, so you Jonnu Smith truthers, you can go ahead and be happy about Jonnu Smith. Hey, whenever he plays well, I'll call it out. And that was a very strong touchdown catch that he had. So, good play by Jonnu Smith. And he had a nice catch as well, I want to say, if I remember correctly. So, I liked that from Jonnu. I liked the Michael Pruitt, although he looked like he had the damn concrete in his feet. He saw Michael Pruitt whenever he was running down the field. It looked like, I know he's faster than that, but I don't know if he was just tripping up on himself or whatever. But Michael Pruitt got involved. No sacks allowed. That's the first time I think that's happened all season long. An incredible feat. Now, the Oakland Raiders don't have anything in terms of a pass rush, so it's not like, we were facing, the 49ers or anything. I mean, come on. But it's still nice that we were able to actually protect for once. And this is what happens. Isn't it just incredible? When you protect your quarterback, look at how well he does. It's just incredible, right? I mean, who would have thunk? But finally, the offensive line is protecting, and Roger Saffold has been playing really well. And, Conklin had a good game for once. And, that's still a situation that we're looking at down the road, what we're going to do at right tackle. But, he added a lot to his resume yesterday, so I like saying that. You look at the defense, Jeffrey Simmons, he definitely showed up. He made his play. He had his little celebration there. And, he looked great on that sack. I mean, that's what we need. Like, we need someone on the defensive line that can make those plays. Jarrell Casey also had a great late game stop when the Oakland Raiders were trying to score there in garbage time. So Casey's still doing his thing. I would just like to see, I know Casey's still good, don't get me wrong, but we just, because our defense was struggling in that first half, right? So the question is just how can we get more out of this unit? Our offense is playing great, and that's fine, but, we're talking about potentially now going to the playoffs. At the very least, we're going to face the Saints and the Texans. These are the two top offenses. How can we get more out of this defense right now? If Casey could, be a little, take that elite level, because we've seen Casey play elite. And I don't think we're getting elite production from Casey. I don't care what his Pro Football Focus rating is. Don't tell me. I've seen elite Jarrell Casey, like we're talking 2013. We're talking 2016. I'm not seeing that from him right now, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's still the best player on the defensive line. I would just like to see that because that's something our defense needs, especially right now when you look at the secondary and how banged up it is. But Jeffrey Simmons coming in and having the play that he did and having 2 tackles for loss, that was nice. You look at the inside linebackers, Tannehill and Brown. We had some. Darren Waller ended up being, we all knew, Darren Waller was going to be the main pass catcher for the Raiders. He had some plays, but ultimately, who was it that stripped Darren Waller? I want to say it was Tannehill Brown. Let me check the box score again. But it was Tannehill Brown that recovered it. Let me see who actually got the credit for the strip. I can't remember who actually stripped it. But Tannehill Brown picked it up. He ran with it. So that was nice to see. And, yeah, other than that, defensively, we have these injuries right now to Adoree Jackson and LaShawn Sims. And luckily, again, we faced the Raiders this week. It didn't matter. The Raiders have no wide receivers. We were able to limit Terrell Williams to 3 catches for 35 yards. Hunter Renfrow, I talked a lot about Hunter Renfrow on Thursday. He didn't even play. I didn't know he was injured. But, yeah, he didn't even play. So, that would end up being irrelevant. But, yeah. The Raiders, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Dude, their wide receivers are so bad. Like, they're just awfully bad. Terribly bad. They're wide receivers. You're talking about, and everyone in the chat, look at that. There's a beauty of having the chat. Everyone can correct me when I don't know something. Ty Smith is the one that got the strip. At that point, I was actually like, yeah, this game is over. I was barely paying attention, to be honest with you. But, yeah. So, Ty Smith is the one that stripped it. And, yeah, you look at the Raiders. I don't know what they're doing over there. This is the worst wide receiver core I've ever seen in my life. Honest, it is so bad. They have this Tandon Doss. They have this, what's this guy's name? This Rico. Is this even a wide receiver? Rico Gafford? I don't know who this is. They have Foster Moreau. He looked like a tight end. Maybe he's a wide receiver. I don't know who these guys are. They have Zay Jones. Literally, you can obliterate those wide receivers from the planet. No one would ever knew they existed. That is how bad the Oakland Raiders wide receiver core. John Gruden, these morons, a couple weeks ago, when the Raiders were 6-4, kept saying, oh, everyone was wrong about the Raiders. No, we weren't. We knew exactly what we were talking about. They were getting lucky, and now their 2 colors are being shown. They stink. The Raiders are not good. Those wide receivers are awful. Who are those guys? Those tight ends. Honestly. So, luckily, we exposed them, and now we can just shut up about the Oakland Raiders. They're not going to make the playoffs. Get out of here. It's just ridiculous how bad. So, anyway, that's it for the Raiders and Titans, honestly. That's pretty much all the highlights I wanted to hit on. Great game. I now believe we're going to talk more about, this upcoming matchup, Tennessee Titans versus Houston Texans on Thursday. So, make sure to come back on Thursday for Titan Up Thursdays. I think I'm going to move that back to 6:30. And by the way, I apologize for what happened last night. So I had a little emergency. Everything's fine. But I had a little emergency I had to take care of last night. And I did schedule this live stream for 6. but I had to drop someone off at the airport, and oh my God. For those of you that ever have to go to BNA during rush hour, that's our international airport here in Nashville, dude, it is a disaster. I am never, ever going there during rush hour again. That was the biggest waste of time. Look, I always help someone out if they need to go to the airport, but if it's during rush hour, tell your mama, because I'm not doing that again. That was the biggest waste of time I've ever had in my life. Honestly, it was just so ridiculous over there. So stay away from BNA during rush hour. It's ridiculous over there. So that's pretty much it for the game. If you have any comments for me, tell me in the chat right now at SportsFan Entertainment, and I will answer your questions, and then we will get out of here. So at me at SportsFan Entertainment. By the way, when I was talking about the franchise record in terms of passing yards, yeah, because the Houston Oilers are a part of our franchise, Warren Moon, I'm sure, has the record. But in terms of Tennessee Titan history, and someone actually had it, Billy Volek threw for 503 yards. Wow. Okay, that's a game I don't remember. That was very early in my Tennessee Titan fandom, and I was super young at that point. But I believe you. What else do we have here? Nick Carini asked a while back on SportsFan Entertainment, do you think everything that happened with Houston and us yesterday would change how many Titans fans show out on Sunday? Well, hopefully. And you know, it's always a weird aspect, and I can't really be hypocritical here, because I don't go to the games either. However, for me, I review the games, right? And I like to do that right after. I like to also watch all the games on my TV because it is my job to watch all the games, to keep up with the league. And I can't really do that if I go to the game, you know? I can only do so much. If I go to the game and then it takes me time to drive back because God knows coming back from Tennessee Titans game, that takes a lot to come back from. Then I'd go live. It's just not convenient for me right now. Plus the money, and I'm also cheap, so yeah, it is what it is. I can't really, hate on that. However, I will say I do expect a nice turnout on Sunday. That is what I do expect. So get ready for that, and hopefully, they're calling it Code Blue, I believe, so that's going to be, definitely a hyped environment. Witty Banter 96 says, at SportsFan Entertainment, don't be a Jared Stillman. I'm not as crazy as Jared Stillman. I'm pretty crazy, but not that crazy. Scooter Kelly said, as SportsFan Entertainment, do we get more publicity next year? Let's see how far we get. We are just, getting started here in terms of, well, to me, you guys have been on the bandwagon. But we're just getting started here in terms of these big games that are going to determine a lot. I wouldn't expect it unless if we go on like a miracle run here, which is, again, on the table. And if that happens, then possibly. But here's the thing. This game, this Houston Texans Tennessee Titans game, this game should be on Sunday Night Football. But instead, they flex the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. They would rather flex the Bills and the Steelers with Duck Goose Hodges than they'd rather flex the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson. Like, that's a marquee matchup. That's a matchup deserving of Sunday Night Football, and we still didn't get it. So, honestly, I don't look for publicity. I know a lot of people do. When I was a lot younger, it used to frustrate me how we never got publicity, how we never got, the Sunday Night Football games and whatnot. I'm kind of over it now. I just want to win games. If we won a Super Bowl and no one watches, that's cool. I'm so happy we won the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. So, that's my main concern. Alonzo Henderson says, as SportsFan Entertainment, we are going to win all 3 games, 1 game at a time. It is certainly on the table at this point. I think it's asking a lot, to beat the Saints and the Texans twice. But it's on the table. And it's much, I'm really considering a lot more than I was even last week. This performance really did a lot for me. McRen says, as SportsFan Entertainment, Ty Smith was our best cover corner and defensive performer Sunday. Yeah, he did well. And again, they weren't facing much talent. Those were practice squad wide receivers on the other team. But it's still nice to know that he played well. Swelly Bell says, as SportsFan Entertainment, how far do you think the Titans can go? So I'm going to talk about this more on Thursday. But let me tell you right now, if they get to the playoffs, it's because they probably swept the Houston Texans, but at the very least, it's because they beat them once. If they beat them once, they can beat them again. We saw them beat the Kansas City Chiefs, so I'm not too worried about the Chiefs, although it would be an Arrowhead. But we've won an Arrowhead, so I'm not worried about that. And we can beat the New England Patriots right now, 100%. I wish we have the New England Patriots for once. I know it's sacrilegious to say that you want to face New England and Foxborough in the playoffs. I don't care. I'm not afraid of New England. New England is not playing well right now. Their offense stinks. We can beat New England. I want New England. So right now, I want to make the playoffs, and I want to make it as probably winning the AFC South. So we have a chance to face New England, who will likely be the number 2 seed. In order for that to happen, someone's going to have to upset the Chiefs. That's asking a lot, for the Steelers to have to upset the Chiefs. But right now, I want New England, dog. Like, I just want New England. I want New England. Give them to me. I am not afraid of New England right now. This team will beat New England in New England. Right now, this team will beat New England in New England. All right, JJ says, at Sports for Entertainment, I'm not sure if you addressed this, but what is the podcast schedule now? So I will be doing the podcast tomorrow, and then the schedule will be back to normal from then on. Lee says, at Sports for Entertainment, think we keep Kari Blasingame on as a fullback. He had a great first game. Yeah, Kari Blasingame, former Vanderbilt Commodore, my boy. Actually, I didn't know him, but my friend did. So, we're close. We're close. We hang low key. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, he played well. And I mean, fullbacks, we don't really use a fullback in this offense, and not many teams use fullbacks anyway. But he had a nice game, and this guy's a guy that I know has a very, strong work ethic and is going to give it his best. And is also, if there are ways for us to get him involved, I'm down for it. Lil Debbie says, as Sports Fan Entertainment, do you think Carter stays next season due to improvement from the offensive line? I don't know who you are talking about when you say Carter. Maybe you mean Arthur, as in Arthur Smith. If you're talking about Arthur Smith, yeah, he's staying, 100%. Arthur Smith's not going anywhere. In fact, no one's going anywhere. Only one that's going somewhere is Dean Pease if he retires. That's it. Cheddar Bank says, as Sports Fan Entertainment, would be a good idea to just focus on the Texan games and rest everyone for the Saints game, or do we just keep the momentum rolling? I think you just got to keep going. And plus, like I said, if you beat the Texans, you could actually win the AFC South in that Week 16 game against the Saints. So if you beat the Texans this week, you absolutely have to try in that Week 16 game. And if you lose to the Texans, then you absolutely have to, try to beat the New Orleans Saints, or you're going to be out of the running again. So, and that'll be it, and it'll be over. So, if the Texans beat the Buccaneers, so yeah, I don't see any scenario where the Titans bench their players against the Houston Texans. I don't see any scenario of that. And then plus, you're still in the wild card, conversation. So there's no chance of that. TT Brown says, how big of a priority is it that we get another running back to lighten the load for Henry? Worried that he might get banged up. And we saw that in the game, right? He left the game for a little bit. And it is asking a lot for him to carry the ball as much as we do. Although he only had 18 carries. But he had like 10 in the first quarter. So it is asking a lot. Like, that's a lot. And right now we don't have that situation. I really wish we would have traded for Kenyon Drake. I don't know why we didn't. Especially looking at what the Cardinals gave up for him. But absolutely, I mean, it is a priority. And we have a number of priorities for next offseason. That's the one thing that is concerning about this team. It's not very concerning, but it is just a little nerve-wracking that, we'd like to say that, we have all of these positions, locked up and whatever, but, the needs keep coming open. And, that's going to happen for everyone, don't get me wrong. But we have a lot of needs. Like, a lot of, positions are not under contract next year. And we could still use another running back. We could still use another edge rusher. We could still probably use an upgraded center instead of Dan Jones. There's a lot of things we still need to do. But we will have the money to spend next offseason. I just hope John Robinson spends it well, and I trust him at this point to do so. Leroy Davidson says, as Sports Fan Entertainment, we won't go that far with these corners. I'm sorry. Well, so the question is, can this offense keep up this pace? No. But can they keep up a strong pace, right? Because they're not going to score. I think we're averaging like 38 points a game since like week 10. Then we're not going to keep that up. But, can they consistently score 30? Yeah. And then can the defense continue to be, okay and then make plays when it matters? Yeah. So the corners are concerning. Don't get me wrong. And I don't see any chance we'd beat Baltimore if we had to face Baltimore. But let's cross that bridge when we get there. We also had, already answered a question about Kari Blasingame, so I'll skip that one. Scooter Kelly says, at Sports Fan Entertainment, I would bet my check if we played the Patriots. Well, I'm not betting any check, okay? I've never bet a check in my life. But it would be a decent bet, especially against the money line, because they're going to give the Patriots like a 10-point spread or something ridiculous. You'd probably make some good money betting on the Titans money line. I wouldn't bet a check, but I'd bet a decent amount on that. We also had a question here from Nick. I want to say it's pronounced Gregor. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but he says, as sports fan entertainment, how much money would you spend to keep Logan Ryan? That's a good question. Very, very, very good question. I'd have to look at the market. Just off the top of my head and just knowing where cornerbacks get paid. First of all, he's getting up there in age, so I'm not giving him a 4-year extension. He might want it, I'm not giving it to him. I would say 3 year, $30 million if you can get away with it. That'd be my deal. 3 years, $30 million deal for Logan Ryan. John Paul, he said, as sports fan entertainment, what if he franchise Tannehill and draft Jordan Love if he falls in the second round to sit for a year? I don't know anything about Jordan Love, to be quite honest with you. So, I guess it's an okay idea, I guess, but that's up to you. But here's the thing. So if Tannehill's this good, why are we even drafting a quarterback then, right? I mean, you people are telling me Tannehill's good, and I'm right there with you. And now I'm just thinking, well, maybe we just need to draft other positions because we do still have all these other needs. If there's a right fit, like if Tua falls, and I don't think he will, it just sounds like teams are still going to take Tua, and they're fine developing his talent. So I don't think Tua was going to fall. That was the one that was an absolute, okay, you have to draft Tua because his potential is just ridiculous. Like, he absolutely could be the next Russell Wilson in this league, and I would not be shocked at all. In fact, that's pretty much my pro comparison for. So that'd be one aspect where, yeah, take Tua Tagovailoa. Jordan Love or Jacob Eason, all these other guys, I don't know. I'm going to do that, film analysis in the offseason. I can't answer that question right now. Matt Join Us says, what's your take on Khalif Raymond? I think he's been an underrated piece of this offense. And yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. And we saw that in the offseason. We saw how dangerous he could be. We saw in preseason, this was a guy that we wanted to keep. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to get, a decent punt return. But I want to see what he does in that aspect. Because finally, now we don't have to have a Dory Jackson, messing up on that aspect of things. So that's another, nice addition to this offense right now. Khalif Raymond and into our special teams. So yeah, I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing for Khalif Raymond. And I'm not surprised after what we saw in the offseason. So with that said, we're going to end things there. Again, I'll be back on Thursday for Tighten Up Thursdays as we preview the AFC South matchup, Tennessee Titans versus Houston Texans. I now believe, which probably means we're in trouble, but it's going to be fun, and the Tennessee Titans are in the playoff discussion again, and at least that's something we can say about this team. The dark days of 2014 and 2015 are over. Okay, this is a consistent playoff contending team. If you look at their record over the past 4 years now, almost all winning records. One more win will get us that winning record. And if you're probably comparing that against the 32 teams in the NFL, like, they probably have like the 8th best win percentage over the last 4 years, maybe even better. Right? I mean, who is this consistently winning games? Just the Patriots, just the Seahawks, and they're a level above us. Do not get me wrong. But we're just right there. And at least that's, something nice that we can say about us. So hashtag Tighten Up, and I'll be back for Tighten Up Thursdays. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.